What's up, YouTube? Okay.
I just went straight into it.
What's up, YouTube? I'm Josh. I'm back again today with another video, and this is
Dakota, mom.
She also has a YouTube channel, and she has a college reaction video that got 700,000 views, where she opened all her college decisions at once, and now she's here at Dartmouth with me.
That's true.
So I'll link her channel in the description below, but she's also an international student. Where are you from?
I'm from Shanghai, China, which is a really large city, so completely opposite to Hanover.
So yeah, I thought I'd make a video not only about like the international student experience, well, more or less,
yeah,
but also about culture shock here, because I am also coming from a very far away place, also known as the West Coast, which is on the opposite side of the United States, and New England culture is a different thing. So yeah, wait, am I off center? There we go. All right. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is the people here, how they're different from where we're from and where we went to high school.
So I'll start. I went to an international high school, so in terms of like the environment, it would be, I would have less of a shock than like people who were from like local school, because I did grow up going to school with people who were like American, or I mean, yeah, people who were American or like from different parts of the world, so it wasn't strictly like the really rigid Chinese environment. So the people here, I guess this is like the first time I've experienced like such a large collection of people from America, and this has like made me become a lot more patriotic. Because in the first 2 weeks when people ask you like what's your name and where you're from, and then you say you're from China, people like always follow up with other questions. So it's like you have to build up your culture.
What has your impression of the people been here?
The people here, okay, so my mom came and visited, and that's when like I got right off of trips. And she came and she said everyone here is really nice because when you cross the road, all the cars stop for you.
Okay, that's also something that really shocked me. Because coming from the West Coast, I don't walk anywhere, but apparently in New England, crosswalks and like the thing that says "don't walk" is not is more of a suggestion.
That's true.
Yeah, like I didn't realize it until coming here that you can just like cross the road, and I've jaywalked in front of HPO, which is Hanover
Yeah,
Bridge.
that's true. Oh
like
my
I've
God.
jaywalked in front of them, and they won't like do anything to me. Like they saw me on the side of the road getting ready to jaywalk, and they stopped for me.
Wait, my trip leader said that once she jaywalked and then she got written up by the HPO, but the HPO just said like don't do it again. But like there are no lights in the campus apart from like if you want to go off Main Street. So basically it's like when you want to cross the road, the cars stop. That's it.
All right, so my impression of the people here. So coming from the West Coast and coming from a area that's very much newer, like here people are a lot more, I wouldn't say like traditional, but more like, I don't know, I wouldn't say preppy either, because that's not the right word. It's more like that they're understated, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like it's weird because Dartmouth has this weird dichotomy where you have people dressing up in flair and being like super spirited on one hand, and on the other hand, they're dressing up in like khaki shorts and collared shirts during the day. So I don't know, it's like two extremes of culture that was really interesting to me. And also it's surprising how many kids here are from like New England prep schools, private schools, and stuff like that, and they all seem to know each other.
That's true. Like a bunch of people, if they're from the same state, they apparently just know each other, and they like have talked a lot. And I think another thing is like you walk on campus and you wouldn't know everyone, but you've seen like majority of the people, and you always say hi to someone, which is like really cool. So like that's like, I guess that's like the small town feel, like everyone knows everyone. Like if I was walking in Shanghai, I would know maybe like 5 people.
Yeah. Oh, also that's something I found that's really interesting about the small town environment. We're going into kind of like the area also, but like with the small town environment, it's so easy to make friends with not only students, but also like service workers here. Oh, is that Ian? Hi, Ian. It's super easy to like make friends and like feel comfortable around the small town environment. Like the other day, I was at North Face buying socks, and I made friends with the cashier, and I think he owns the place. But his name's Bill, and we had like a really long conversation. And I was just buying wool socks, you know? Like, I thought that was really interesting to me because that would never happen in cities where everything is just going so fast.
It's true. Yeah, like I have a similar experience like in town. So I have to set up a bank account at Bank of America, and for some reason they always mailed my card to the wrong address, which means I had to like go multiple times to like get them to send it to my him inbox. And so now like the main like customer service I guess person like basically knows me, and she just like strikes up conversation with me. I had to go for my follow-up meeting the other day, and she was like so happy to see me, and we just like caught up, which was like super cool.
Yeah, and even there's also a poster store in town, and like the cashier, everyone knows the cashier because he just loves to talk to people. And like you could be walking out the door and he's still talking to you, and it's just I don't know. The small town environment is really just I don't know. It's quaint.
Yeah, and like even if you don't really talk to them, everyone's so friendly to you. It's like you think you're their best friend.
Okay, more about the area. What's your impression of living in the middle of nowhere?
Honestly, this is like a lot better than I thought it would be, because even though it's technically rural, like freshmen aren't even allowed to have cars. So really we just only get to walk everywhere. And there's like the main street, which has a CVS if you go far down enough, and then there's like a theater, and then there's like bookstores. So it's like really all you need to have is near you. So it doesn't really feel that bad, but sometimes, you know, I miss like a little bit of noise and people. But overall, it's like a lot better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, like coming from a big city also, there's not as much access to just like department stores and grocery stores, but you can still like rent cars and drive down to Lebanon, which are in surrounding towns, and like go to the Walmart and a Kmart and like a TJ Maxx. I planned a shopping trip this weekend just so I can do that. But it's not like it's out of touch, you know? So I thought that was really interesting to me, and it's not like it's isolated, but it's also like I don't notice it as much. I never feel there's always something happening on campus.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, the busyness is like self-contained in a bubble. How is it different from Shanghai and just like the experience of being in the US versus
in Shanghai? I think like obviously I've been in Shanghai for so long that I just know what is happening around me, and so I can just go, I mean, I don't even know how to phrase this. So I guess when I'm in Shanghai, I keep to myself a lot more because I know exactly what's happening. So I would just like put my earbuds in and go to like a store or go to like the stand and buy something to eat. But I guess because I'm here and I'm like I'm unfamiliar with this area, I would pay attention more to like my surroundings and the people around me, and like try to talk to them more so I feel more acquainted with this area. So I guess that's a big difference. And also there's always like
Justin.
Yeah, there's always the difference between like a city and a town.
I know too many people in this school.
I mean, that's what happens when you have a small school. You literally know everyone.
But it's kind of nice though, because it's like, see, I feel right at home in this building. I never go to this building. Like I never go here, but those 3 people that just walk by are all people I know and like have had various interactions with. So yeah. What else was I going to talk about? Oh yeah, the weather. So apparently rain is a thing.
Oh my god.
I don't have dedicated rain boots, so I wear like my hiking boots sometimes to step in puddles because they're waterproof.
Oh, I don't have rain boots either. I just like it just takes up too much space in my luggage. So I have like these pair of old sneakers that I don't care if they get like ruined. So I wear those in the rain.
I just don't like my feet getting wet.
Fair. Yeah.
Well, so want to talk about?
Yeah. Also, this weather is just horrible. I hate this weather.
Really?
It's like okay, so now it's like cooling down, but yesterday it was so annoying because there was rain, and then like 2 days ago it was so hot.
It wasn't that hot. It was
really
like
hot.
Okay, so I grew up in 110 degree Fahrenheit weather, and I think that's like mid 40s Celsius. Yeah, that was my life.
Yeah, but like okay, but it was like cooling down, and then suddenly I broke out my summer clothes, and then it started raining, and then now it's like cooling down again.
Yeah, it's gonna stay pretty solidly like this for the rest of the week. Oh yeah, I didn't know what Vineyard Vines was.
Oh, is it the one with the whale?
Yeah, the pink whale, and I also didn't know places like Nantucket and Martha's Vineyard, and like, I knew some of the things like Jackson Hole and Vale, which are skiing places, but like I didn't know that these were just places that like rich people go to, and like when you go to a private university that has a lot of rich people, you also get a little bit more of rich people culture. Like people would wear shirts around that said Nantucket, and I didn't know what Nantucket was. And apparently it's an island in a vacation spot.
Yeah. I mean, I get a little less of that because I did go to international school, which was like hella expensive. So there were rich people there who were like already owning their business, or their family just owns like 50 businesses. So I got some of that in high school, but I guess like I don't really see a lot of that because they go home. But now they're like just here all the time.
Yeah, I went to a private school on financial aid, and like I had a little bit of taste of that, but there's a difference between like West Coast new money wealth and like East Coast old money. And there's just like, I was educated on this the other day by someone who went to a prep school, and like I don't feel super out of the loop just because with the things I was involved in with high school, I knew a lot of people from these prep schools, and like I don't feel super out of the loop. Like I can say, oh, you went to this school, do you know this and this person? So I don't feel super out of the loop, but I didn't realize how much like wealth is just there, you know? And also I went to a school where we had to wear uniforms.
Me too.
So you never like really knew who was super rich and stuff because you couldn't judge by the clothing. And then coming here, I'm like, oh, Vineyard Vines, Patagonia, like those are apparently expensive ass brands. And you see those on a daily basis, and it just reminds you a little bit more of like the wealth here. But nonetheless, like even rich people are really nice sometimes, or most of the time actually. I don't dislike anyone here except like two people.
Yeah, they're like genuinely nice. Like they genuinely want to get to know people because we're on the same boat in the beginning. Like basically nobody has any friends. So you all want to like reach out to other people and get to know them. So.
Oh, also in terms of like the social climate, I found here that there's not really like a social divide between people who are like more introverted versus extrovert. I feel like everyone's just mingling in the same like big ball of circle.
Circle.
Like I know at other schools where it's either more competitive or like just the culture is different, there's a divide between people who party and people who do not. And I haven't found that here. Like I'm friends with people on both ends of the social spectrum, and I think it's really interesting because I don't think I would have found that in other places.
Like I think that like I would consider myself like introverted, but I wouldn't like distance myself from people who party. So I think people who party are open to like less party people, and people who don't really party like are open to interacting with like party people. So it's like a good mix.
Yeah. I was just really surprised at that. Like I never felt like I couldn't talk to someone because they are that type of person, you know? Like even Chads have depth here.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. It's like you talk to them and they're all into like football and sports and like are really deep into that. But then you start talking about like classes and they're like, oh, I really like my CS class. I'm really interested in this and this and this. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, I would say like a big difference is like in high school you have like cliques. Like the stereotypical ones, and here everyone just does like a bit of everything. That's like you have to kind of study to do well, but you also have to like let loose.
And also I find it funny that like, or I find it really interesting that here it's just even people that or people that like go out and like even people that go out a lot set personal limits, and they're always back by like 3 a.m. Like at other schools they party every night, and like here it's the days where people like go out a lot is when the nights before people don't have class.
Yeah. that's true.
So it's like they know their limits, and I think that's just so interesting to me.
I mean, like you could tell, like midterm week it was a lot quieter because everyone's studying and they know they have to do their classes.
Yeah,